Peter failed. He denied knowing Jesus while Jesus suffered for him just yards away. So where's the next place we see Peter? Back on his boat, fishing. Well, the story goes that Peter and the other disciples, they fish all night, don't catch a thing. And as the sun starts to come up over the horizon, there's this guy just kind of roaming the beach. And the guy, he yells out to the disciples. He goes, "Hey! You boys, you caught any fish?" Peter assumes this is just some drunk wandering the beach, and he yells back, annoyed, "No." Well, the guy, he decides to continue the conversation. And he goes, "Well, do this for me. Take your nets and throw them on the other side of the boat." I think this is when Peter snaps. I mean, just days earlier, Peter lost Jesus, his friend and his God. Just days earlier, Peter did the unthinkable and he failed miserably. And now he can't even catch some fish? He's a lousy disciple and he's a lousy fisherman. So Peter, he yells out, he goes, "Oh, so you think it's gonna make a huge difference if I take my nets on this side of the boat or if I throw them on this side of the boat?" And then, boom, the nets hit the water. The boat lurches to one side. The nets fill with fish, and Peter can barely pull them onto the boat. And it's John who looks up with tears in his eyes and he says, "That's the Lord." And then Peter does what only a man experiencing deep hope would do. He just hurls himself over the boat. I wonder if Peter thought he was gonna walk on water. Not today. Today, Peter has to swim all the way back to shore. Peter finally makes it to the beach. And the other disciples, they've beaten him there on the boat. And there's Jesus. He's made a fire and now he's preparing breakfast, and all the other disciples, they're hugging him. And then Peter remembers, wait a second, wait. I failed. I don't get to be a follower anymore. I'm not invited to that party. And then we see one of the greatest stories of grace in all human history. Jesus gets up from the fire, walks down the beach, and sits next to Peter. "Peter," Jesus says, "do you love me?" Oh, this question, it tears Peter's heart in two. He knows he did the most unlovable thing, but somehow he answers Jesus, "Yes, Lord. You know I love you." "Good," Jesus says. "Go feed my sheep." "Peter, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord. You know I love you." "Then go feed my sheep." And then Jesus asks, a third time, "Peter, do you love me?" And tears pour down Peter's face. 3 times he denied Jesus, and now 3 times Jesus asked, "Do you love me?" There's no punishment. There's no lightning from heaven ready to strike Peter down, not even a guilt trip. And Peter responds, "Yes, Lord. You know I love you." Good. Then go feed my sheep. Look, we fail. We blow it. But Jesus headed to the cross knowing we would fail. And how does he bring us back into the warmth of the fire? He says, "Hey, listen, bud. Listen, sweetheart. Let's get back to work. There's a world full of hungry, tired, lost, and lonely people. And I didn't die so that you could sit here feeling guilty. I died so that despite your sin, you could live as a kingdom worker, taking care of those sheep I so dearly love." So what is God calling you to? He's calling you to live. Live out the grace you've been shown for your family, your friends, acquaintances, even your enemies to see. Let them see someone who didn't deserve grace but got it all the same. Do you love him? Then feed his sheep. Because sometimes we fail. And then Jesus simply calls us to live lives of kingdom work.